Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome back from lunch. We will now start our first afternoon session here on building next generation leaders in the internet governance ecosystem. This session will feature next generation youth leaders in the APAC region, sharing their experiences from participating in their first internet governance program to how they grew towards leading internet governance related initiatives. Let's welcome our session moderator on stage, Ms. Carissa Teputri, Artificial Intelligence and Tech Policy Consultant, to lead the session. And can I also invite the panelists for this session to join her on stage, please? Let's welcome them all on stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our session on building next generation leaders in internet governance ecosystem at the APAC DNS Forum 2025. My name is Carissa, and it is an honor for me to be your moderator at the session today. Internet governance shapes the infrastructure, rules, and rights of the internet that we all use. Youth participation is crucial, not just for representation, but for innovation, sustainability, and inclusion. Once again, welcome to our session. I'm thrilled to be moderating this discussion with your youth leaders from the APAC region. So we often hear about capacity building in the internet governance space, but what happens after that first fellowship, that first program? How do young people go from being participants to becoming leaders? Today, we are very lucky to hear from our amazing speakers who have done exactly that. They have gone from newcomers to mentors to initiative leaders and even now policy contributors. For the next hour, we will talk about the highs and lows of that journey and hear their advice on what is needed next to support others. This session will be interactive. Panelists, you each will have a yes and no sign. And for some questions, I will be asking you to flash them and sometimes even close your eyes before responding. So we want honest answers and a little bit of fun in this session. Now, let's start by meeting our panelists. I will invite each of you to please briefly introduce yourself. Tell us your name, where you're from, and a quick snapshot of your internet governance journey so far. How you first got involved, and also what you are currently doing. Just 1 to 2 sentences, please, and we're keeping it short and sweet. Any volunteers?
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Lian Yige, and I'm from China. I'm now a master student in Peking University, major in global communication. And my first trip in IG was last year in Istanbul as the next generation. Also, that was my first meeting, whom I met with Lisa. So I'm very excited to meet all of you for also old friends and your new friends. That's all.
Hello, everyone. This is Mira from Indonesia. I'm proudly part of Pandi.id registry. Now, I think when it's about my first experience in internet governance, I would call as when I joined the organization that I'm working for now is my first experience because Pandi is part of the internet governance ecosystem. Now my focus of work, most of my work focuses on the domain name governance instrument. It includes on the complaint handling, the registrar, accreditation registrar, compliance, the policy things, the development, and all of the other instrument in domain name or .id governance.
Thank you, Carissa. Hi, everybody. My name is Afiq Toulouse, and I am from Malaysia. So, to be honest, when I woke up this morning, I actually planned to shave clean my facial hair because the description of this session is basically featuring youth leaders or next generation leaders in the Asia Pacific region, which I don't think I am actually belongs to that kind of age group. But then yeah, in terms of experience, I will consider myself as relatively new and still has a lot of things to learn. And I'm also here in this forum. This is my third year in this APAC DNS forum, participating in the APAC DNS forum to actually learn new things. And I am still learning so many new things up until now. In terms of my career background or my participation in the internet governance, I would say it is accidentally or forcefully because of my job, because I'm currently working with the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, is the regulator for the communications and multimedia industry in Malaysia. So basically, I am involved with devising policies with regards to electronic addresses, which the electronic addresses itself in Malaysia, we define it as comprising of domain name systems, IP addresses, and also autonomous system numbers. So that is basically explaining why I participated in ICANN and ICANN related matters or ICANN related events. And I am also one of the GAC alternate members for Malaysia currently. But the incident or forcefully incident is actually way back in 2019. And after that, I start to develop myself in this area, and I do feel the interest, and also I do feel attracted to this area and ecosystems all the way. So I think I will leave that as now, or else I will answer all of Carissa's questions later. Thank you.
Well, thank you all. It is really amazing to see such a diversity of journeys here. Now, without any further ado, let's dive into our questions. Question number 1. When you first joined a capacity building program in internet governance space, did you feel prepared for what comes next? Please flash your yes or no signs now. Okay, so we have 1 yes and 2 no's. Who would like to share why they answered?
No.
Yes. Yeah, no. So Mira, you said yes, yes. Okay. So 2 yeses and 1 no. Sorry, I can't really see from here. Who would like to share why you answered the way you did? Maybe also add like what helped you, or like what did you wish you had when you initiated your journey?
So if I may start, so like I said, I joined this internet governance thing back in 2019 when I first attended the Internet Governance Forum in Berlin in 2019, which at that point of time, I am not a technical guy, and I am also not a tech-savvy guy. So I paid my bills at the counter. So I don't have any trust on online transactions back then. But then after I joined IGF in 2019, it somehow opened my eyes and opened my minds about how the internet is governed. So I kind of developed that interest from there. So when I returned home after IGF 2019, I started to actually find ways and mediums or avenues that I can actually improve my understandings and basic knowledge about internet governance. So that is when I found there are so many internet governance schools available around these regions. You have INSIC, you have from India, from Nepal, from Bangladesh. They are all offering you this internet governance course or fellowships that you can actually improve yourselves in that area. So I am proudly an alumni of INSIC, Indian School of Internet Governance, and also the Asia Pacific Regional Internet Governance Forum Fellows. So based on these participations in this fellowship, I already know what I expect to be, because as I said, I am much involved in this area. So I know which area that I want to focus on It's basically on the policies discussion with regards to DNS and IP addresses. So yeah, that's why I answered yes.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to jump in?
Yeah, quite the same. For me, because I feel prepared for my first capacity building, which is the Asia Pacific Internet Governance Academy, APIGA. So APIGA in 2017, because it relates so much with the context of my work in Pandi.id registry. And I know that this capacity building will help me to get the deeper understanding on the work that I need to provide, that I need to contribute on the community. So I also starts to identify what issues, what discourse that I need to follow to then bettering, to perfecting the practices that we already have in Indonesia. And because maybe if I was quite young at the time, still now, but then I already set my focus on to dedicate my career in this in this context of internet governance. So then it helps me a lot to then to eliminate another another noises that maybe influence me in thinking about something else. And what helps me also, I really appreciate the community, our community, the mentors that I've met. I've met Leonid. He's now retiring from APTLD, the general manager of APTLD. I've met him, and he helps me a lot to just helping this so awkward person and provide me with information, with the chance, with opportunities. And also, I really appreciate the management. I mean the boards of Pandi that also encourage me to do more in the international context. And yeah, I hope we will have this one. I think it is important for us as a part of this community to think that the work of capacity building is not only by like a strong organization or something like ICANN, but also for everyone to feel that to feel the needs to provide the capacity building to the younger generation. And this will help them as me as I was to strive in the internet governance community.
Well, thank you, Mira, for sharing your experience. Now, Yige, would you like to share why you answered no to the question?
I answered no because I think I'm not prepared for my first trip in IG. My first program was last year when I was selected as the next generation for the 81st ICANN in Istanbul. And to be honest, on that day, I just started my master study for 2 months. And so when I went to the conference, my knowledge about international governance just comes from the online courses of the ICANN's website, also the materials I got. I researched while preparing for my presentation. So because I think I'm not very confident, I'm not very satisfied with myself in the IG experience. So I always be very quiet and too shy to communicate with each other. But what I want to say is this conference and meeting really gives me a lot of confidence because our moderator, Kalisa, I remember that in the last time, she and I, we were all next generation. And for this time, she was a moderator. And in last year, she just active and showed her passion in participating in IG. And I think that's a process our youth can take part in the IG system. Maybe at the beginning, we are the observation, and then we can participating, and finally we can be the leader in this system. So if I had to give one thing I think is more important in IG system, I think it's believing in yourself. And also that's a skill I'd like to share with all of you. That's all.
Well, thank you so much, Hige, for name dropping me. That was very kind. Well, for me personally, if I had to answer, it would be a mix of yes and no. I would say yes, because honestly, when I first showed up at my first APAC DNS forum last year in Bali, I found the community to be extremely welcoming. Like everyone was super helpful. Everyone was very excited to introduce themselves to like me, a nobody. I was very new in the internet governance space. But yeah, like everyone was eager to share and like everyone was giving me links to like, oh, why don't you apply to this fellowship or this policy school? So that was why I would say yes, but no, because I guess again, I think we all kind of deal with like imposter syndrome when we step into like a new space and you always feel like, oh, even though I did maybe this study or that study, it's still not enough. But I think it's a good blend of like feeling like you need more from, you know, entering a new space, but also having that support. So I would say this is a great space to be as, you know, a part of the youth. We're very lucky. Okay, now,
Can I add something?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think what Caritas, what Caritas shares also like reflect the most important thing that we keep talking around, we keep discuss in the as a generation is ourselves, like the mental health, like how we can we can solve, we can resolve the internal feeling, the you know the internal challenges with ourselves. So that's why I think it's important for us as a generation to decide what's the basic of our work, what's the basic that we want to do, and then it will help much to then get rid of the negative feelings. And yeah, as I experienced also. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a really good segue to our next question because we're talking about negative feelings and, you know, all of like the challenges. So the second question, and you're going to need your, you know, flashcards again. Have you faced challenges in staying involved in the IG space after your first program or fellowship? Because I think getting in is hard, but that is the easy part compared to staying consistent and getting involved. How is your experience? No, just do it. 3, 2, 1. You can lift it up. So we got 2 yeses and 1 no. Who would like to share first? Maybe we can start with Ige. No. Oh, no?
You don't have to tell me.
No.
No challenges? Wow.
Okay, so I'm the one that traveled here.
Yeah, Mira, why don't you share your troubles and challenges with us?
Yeah, if it's regarding the negative feelings, I've shared it before. Yeah, and maybe others is time management. I'm sorry, I've become like such a loser now. But yeah, to share like to share the reality is for me to work in the internet governance related and organization is a plus, but also has a minus, because then I have like this responsibility that I need to get done with, and also to share my focus on following the discourses that I interested to. Yeah, I got interested in so many things in the in which the sessions now, even in which the sessions now has presented. But then I need to really select what will be like have a direct benefit for me. And yeah, it's kind of back to the again the internal process of mine, which then I feel like a quite a challenge. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else like to add?
Yeah, maybe I just share why I said no in terms of challenges. Because one thing that the beauty of this ecosystem is actually from the people's inside it itself. Um, w- what can I what can I see from my experiences in this area is basically the the eagerness of each and every one of us to share whatever we know, whatever we have experience with. We are we are basically upholding the multi-stakeholder model, which we have never have any intentions of not sharing anything, and we are so eager to share whatever we know and whatever we deal with, so that each and every one of us could actually learn from each other. So that is the beauty that I think and people are very welcoming. When you ask them one questions, they will give you like how many answers that they could, and they will help you and assist you with everything that they have in on hand. So I think that is the thing that basically helps me to survive in these ecosystems, because all and each and every one of them are really, really helpful and welcoming.
Thank you, Afik. That's really resonates with me. Pike, you have any?
Yeah,
That-
I
that you
need to
really-
correct my answer because I think in a short time I didn't have some challenges, but maybe in the long run, I think okay, that's great. I had some. Now I'm a master student and I still have 3 years for my master degree. So I have enough energy, enough time to focus on what I was interested in. Also, my research needs me to stay up to date and to collect some new information in data governance, also in platform governance. But I'm also a little bit worried about the future, that I will meet some challenges because after I graduate, maybe I need to balance the needs of my life, also what I am passionate about. So maybe I'm not very clear what I can do for the future IG. Also, is there a job? Is there someone who just have the similar background like me, who have some successful experience in IG system? So that's what I'm worried about. And that's all.
Okay, thank you again for sharing your reservations regarding the space. Again, this makes into like a very good segue. I swear I did not plan the answers. It just, flows this way. But this is a close your eye moment. So please close your eyes and have your placard ready. Do you think the IG community is doing enough to support newcomers and emerging leader? Everyone, please hold up your yes and no sign. Keep your eyes closed, and on the count of three, well, you can give us your answer now. On 3, 2, 1, you can open your eyes.
Is this the one that
Yeah.
So Afik, are you saying yes or no? No? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Do you know there are like seniors here from the IG community? Well, why don't you share with us? Like, why did you say no? Like, what prompted you to say no?
Actually, Avik is like a part of the senior, you said.
So it's like a self-reflection moment.
Pointing on the
Only the senior one in terms of age.
Okay.
So actually, that is not something that I try to blame anyone, but I think in terms of the it's not that basically this community, it's not that referring to this community, but I will refer to the bigger community, or every one of us, whether you are an active participant of internet governance ecosystems or you are not. Because I'm referring this to my experience in my own country, which is Malaysia, where I think the movements into because in Malaysia we do not have that much I would say gathering or any efforts in terms of internet governance relation. So I do believe that all of us, or maybe in the industries, can actually do something better to actually foster more internet governance engagements, gatherings or discourses that can actually foster more young professional talents, local talents, to actually involve in internet governance ecosystems. And that is actually one of the things that I plan to do, using my capacity with the regulators, that we basically we just successfully organized the local APIGA in Malaysia, which we call as My APIGA, in February this year, which that is actually the local version of the APIGA organized at the regional level at South Korea, which I actually have the opportunity to participate in APIGA 2023 as a mentor. Thanks to ICANN Asia Pacific for inviting me. And that is where I can see that APIGA is actually a great avenue, a great platforms for us to actually foster young professional talents to join internet governance discussions. So that is when I told Yin Chin, oh, I must bring APIGA to Malaysia so that we can actually foster more young professional talents to actually develop more interest in, between them.
Sorry, could you please tell us what does APIGA stand for?
Asia Pacific Internet Governance Academy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's even new to me. So thank you for sharing.
So yeah, that is why I said I think we can just do much better.
Yeah, that's good. Room for improvement. Okay. Who would like to-
I choose yes because my first trip in ICANN in Istanbul is very great. Firstly, there are some online courses. It's multilingual and the video is very interesting, so it helps me a lot. Also, there's a mentor in for our next generation, and my mentor connected to me once a week. It really helps me a lot for my presentation and for myself to build my confidence. Also, I have to say, I can paid for my first trip in Istanbul. That's really, I think that's really crucial for our students, especially in developing country. And I think the opportunity for us is very friendly to find. And although I didn't have some technical background, I can still select it in this kind of next generation program. But what I want to add is some missing points. I think if we can have some long-term internships or we can have some small roles in the community, that would help us a lot. Because to be honest, after the attendance in Istanbul, I didn't have some chance to continue my studying and keep contacting with people, my mentor in ICANN. So maybe we can help writing some blogs or just organizing some materials. And this way will help us to stay connected and also keep learning with our Edge system. So that's my suggestion and my point of view.
Yeah, maybe adding a bit to what you guys already mentioned. I think in another words, friendship is super important to build in this to keep wants to be active in the community. So yeah, and also other than to build like friendships with everyone. I mean, first when I joined this type of the type of networking session, I really don't know what I need to like to what I really need to like present to the person that I'm trying to approach. But then now I conclude that I just need to build curiosity for everyone to know what they are doing, and then and then to find the things that we may can be worked together with or not in the future. It will be like the second to none, but to build the friendship is the most important things, the top I think the top mission that we need to have. And this is the as I experience all of the internet governance settings that I've attend, all of them you know is a place to have this type of efforts. And also maybe adding to this, to why I say yes to the encouragement in our community, is because I see the efforts, like yeah, I see the efforts that all of the leaders has made. Like maybe in ICANN we can notice that they even like build a system and has someone dedicated to run these efforts. And also other than ICANN, they even like build the organization dedicated to do this work. So to say that there is no encouragement in our regions or like in a global would be like something that I wouldn't say. The thing is, maybe we need to extend the reach out to and create the uh, to create the innovation on the way that we did this capacity building things to do this encouragement to the younger generation. And also in my experience, once I like open my eyes into the opportunities, there will be like everywhere there. Now maybe apa namanya? To mention, I also has served as eh, yeah, I've already like benefit so much from the so much from the community. I joined the APRIGF fellowship. I also become the ICANN fellows. Also, as I said, I also joined the APIGA. Yeah, I think that's what counts as an effort to note in our community.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Mira, I really like your point about friendship and connection because I think familiar faces really make consistency easy. Like for me, knowing that I know a lot of people who are going to attend, I'm more excited to go. Like for the record, like I come here with my own funding, and this will relate to with like what kind of support do we need from the IG space. I think it would be amazing to have more funded programs for youth because not everyone would be as lucky as probably like we are, that we can fund it or like we can get funding from our organization or our universities. So that would be very helpful. But also, I think it's really important to realize that the support is out there. Like, what we need to be is to be more proactive, to ask for what we need, or like to seek for what would actually fit into our career timeline. People are not just going to come up to you and tell you, hey, like there's this and there's that. Probably they will because people are very nice and very welcoming in the IG space, or at least in ICANN, like from my experience. But again, for you to reach out to ask people, hey, do you have time for a coffee break? You know, like to chat about your career. How did you get here? Like that will open so many of these like access to support that is already there in the IG space, in my experience. And yeah, so let's continue to our fourth question. Another yes or no?
With closed eyes.
No. Keep your eyes open, please. Truthfully, if you were not currently employed or affiliated with your current organization or university, would you still have stayed active in the IG space? Please flash your yes or no sign. So yes? No? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, no, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm the pessimist one. The only pessimist
So
one.
should we start with the optimistic or the
No,
pessimistic?
maybe I can deliver my reasons first.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, because you know, everyone gets their place somewhere in this world, somewhere in the industry. Like, I think it is just logical for me, reasonable for me to get active in the internet governance because of my work. Um, now that I have like involved in this internet governance things, even if I'm not I mean, even in the future I'm not in this industry, maybe I still can get interested, and it'll be like one of the most interesting things to get involved with, and I'll maybe join the ALAC, and I'll maybe initiate an organization to contribute in the youth capacity building and something like that. Yeah, but not in this high exposure that I have now. So yeah, I think all of the stuff in this industry should have uh, involvement in the internet governance.
Okay, we appreciate your honesty. Um,
Yeah, yes. Actually, I want to show my willingness to continue in for my trip in IG. But I'm not sure if I were not a student in Peking University, how I can continue my IG roles, maybe for volunteer. But I think volunteers is difficult to continue their trip in IG system because, as for me, I think the key point of the question is who is taking part in IG system. And from what I see, I have seen some states, also the ISP, also the content service providers, maybe also the technical experts. I can also include some civil society in our multi-stakeholder model, but I think it's difficult to always include them in our edge system because the volunteers have to think about their effort, their time, also their money in their trip with the results. But our multi-stakeholder model needs more negotiation and it takes a long period of time to make the policy change. So maybe they cannot see their results instantly. So how can they just take part in IG system volunteer? I think it's difficult. But what I want to say is the heart of the multi-stakeholder model is a representation. So that's why volunteers like us, we take it by our own pay, is important because we can become the next generation, or maybe after this experience, we have more skills, we have more knowledge prepared for the professional roles in edge system. Maybe in the future, we can take part in the states or the role of the companies. So I think it's challenge, but also an opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Afik, would you like to?
So, yeah, if I will no longer be part of my organizations or I'm directly related to these kind of areas, but one thing that motivates me is during my early years in the internet governance ecosystem is the fact that I could find someone who is not from technical background, but they still, participated in these internet governance discussions. There are teachers, doctors, lawyers that are not really directed into these areas, and they couldn't be actually they shouldn't be bothered about it at all. But then they use these platforms to actually voice out their concerns, their issues, and also they want to contribute to the societies and to the internet governance ecosystems globally. So of course, in terms of the funding, it would maybe, yeah, it will not be as good as now because yeah, currently you can receive fundings from your organizations and from your company, but you can always do that online. So there is multiple of discussions or multiple of sessions that currently conducted online, which you can always contribute in that particular manner. So yep, if I will no longer be part of my organizations, I would still want to involve in these internet governance ecosystems and try to contribute and try to give back whatever I received from this community from the early days of my participations until now. Yeah.
Mr. Afik, on your statement regarding, how even people who are not technical, they can still get involved in forums, etc. Can you please give us like an example or where people can start?
Because in fact, in this in ICANN itself, we have several advisory committees. We have supporting organizations that represents different communities. So, like Mira said just now about ALEC representing the at-large community, and we have like the IGF. It is free. Whoever you are, you can actually participate in the IGF's discussions, and you can actually choose or focus on whatever topics that you want to, and nobody should actually feel small or feel timid when it comes to presenting your ideas and your concerns at this level, because at the end of the day you can actually contribute to a bigger discussions and representing some parts of peoples who underrepresented at that particular areas. So yeah.
It's very important. Thank you for sharing. Now we can retire our prop. This is an open-ended question. Can you share one moment where you finally felt like you truly became a leader, or at least like an organizer in the IG space? Who wants to share?
Maybe me first. First, to clarify my stance, it doesn't mean that I didn't think that people who doesn't work for like internet governance related organization, um, uh, it doesn't mean that I didn't encourage them to join the space. It's just that about the intensity, about the exposure that they may have. So that's why I encourage to really even join the activity. Connect to the question, the Carisa's question. I think it's this is the fresh one for me because last year I got the opportunity to lead the organizing committee from Pandi side, from our organization side, to organize the APAC DNS forum last year in Bali. Back then, I really, um, internalize the meanings of agenda setting. So I have this experience of deciding, programming the session, and even make the networking with the speakers, and to brief them in the discourse that we want to deliver in the session. And that way I can feel that I somehow contribute to the leadership in making the discourse or the discussion in the IG.
Okay. Yeah, I think that really highlights.
And also one thing,
Sure.
yeah, I want to emphasize the IG, not only like the event. Yeah, the IG is also the things that we already has in our daily, including the works that we have in our own organization, in our own region, in our um, own countries. That also is the work of IG, including when I trying to build the registrar assessment, the complaint handling mechanism, the domain name resolution ADR in reference to UDRP and all. It's also a part of the leadership. The most crucial one is the one that we contribute in our daily work, I think. So that's also is the moment that I feel I'm a part of the leadership. Even if I'm not the top of it, but I think everyone should really feel that they can take parts on the leadership of IG in their own context, not only like in the event or something that something that something like a one type or one things, or or like a big program or something. Yeah.
Thank you, Mira.
Well, for me, I would say my experience in organizing my APICA, because it's since day one when my APICA is actually a plan or a proposal. I am the one who prepared the proposal and try to convince my management in terms of organizing it for Malaysians, local talents. So that is actually coming from my passions to actually share whatever experience that I've obtained so far in internet governance ecosystem, and my eagerness to actually, to make them feel whatever I feel and to make them know whatever I know. So that is actually the process from having the proposals and to actually organize it at the end of the day is something that could actually reflects the leaderships in internet governance that I want to portray and to reflect on.
You don't want to talk about how you are the director?
No.
Okay, so what I want to share is my And after I participated in the ICANN Istanbul last year, I think maybe I can do something as a volunteer. So I just initiative and become the TA of the class. It's called International Governance and the Global and the Internet. And the global communication. That's a class in our university. And in one section, the teacher asked me to share my experience and my view of the ICANN meeting. So I just used the Q&A, just like ourselves today, to share my experience with the students who haven't known ICANN before. And after this sharing, I wrote an article about how to become the next generation or maybe the fellow to take part in ICANN. And I posted on WeChat. It's a kind of social media in our country, and it received 1,000 likes. So there are also some people who haven't known ICANN before. They send message to me to ask me how to get in. So I realized that there are many people who have the interest in IG system, but they didn't know it. So at that moment, I think maybe I can do something because I major in global communication, and just by this way can make more people involved in IG system.
Well, thank you so much for our panelists for your transparency and insightful responses. Now we have a few minutes for our audience Q&A. If anyone here have a question for our speakers or any statement you would like to make, please raise your hand. Or Melody, if there's any questions in the Zoom space.
No questions.
Okay. Sure. Do we have a microphone here?
Thank you for sharing your experience also, and being a young person and being involved in this internet ecosystem. I think it was mentioned that one would not necessarily have been prepared to be part of this endeavor. And I was wondering, what would you have done differently if you knew what was coming in being engaged in this journey? Thanks.
Thank you very much for that very important question, I think. Does anyone want to respond? I guess like if you could have done things differently, what would you have done to make yourself be more prepared, right? Well, I can take the question. At least for me, my first real involvement in the internet governance space would be when I became the next gen for ICANN, and at the meeting in Istanbul back in November. I think what I would have done differently was to, I guess, like read a lot more and like a lot deeper about what the organization is, what they do, because I did my preparation, but I feel like it wasn't enough. And you know, when you talk to people from the space, there were so many abbreviations, and I just have to keep like looking at my phone and like, excuse me, let me Google that for a bit. I wish I was more fluent in that sense, but then I think like it will come with practice and time, and you're gonna get more familiar. And I guess like one more thing was I wish, not in a sense that I would be more prepared, but I would be more bold in approaching people and asking questions. I think I often think, oh my God, I'm a bother. Like, who am I compared to them? You know, like they're a leader in the space. But I think, again, like people are very eager to help and to welcome newcomers. So I wish I had done more of that.
I totally agree with you. But what I want to add is, I think the most important is not make IG so difficult or complex. Because at the first time, I also think I have too many things to learn. But if you are a person live in the modern society and you are use the internet, you have already have your own concern, your own questions, and your experience in IG. So just to make clear what you are concerned about and what's your role in IG system, and you already have the ability to take part in IG.
So maybe for me is to early not recruit, but have more friends with me. Like build a stronger community on my own. So this will come as the most important supporting organization is supporting system that I can get, and I'm trying to do this also to correct the past that I didn't I didn't yeah. So to correct the past that I didn't take is to build this community on my own. Now I'm starting it, so then I really can ensure myself to keep connect with the global community. So then I can also, actively thinking on what can I contribute to this community of my own. Yeah.
Yep. I just want to add, if I could do things differently, I would start way, way earlier, because I only realized of this ecosystems when I at 30. So yeah, I have one friend back in Malaysia. He actually started his journey in internet governance ecosystems right after he finishes his school. So yeah, and he already flies so high, and I am proud of him. And I wonder if I could actually start at his age. What can actually that brings me to in current situations. So yeah, if I could do things differently, I would rather to know this much more earlier, maybe in my university years rather than my working years.
But again, it's never too late. So whether you're 30 or 35, join us in the IG space. Okay, do we have any more questions from the room?
Yep. Hello. Hi. My name is Rani. I have a question as someone who is actually new to the industry as well, because I'm trying to learn as much as you are also learning right now. So I guess my question is, when we talk about IG or internet governance, the ecosystem is huge. It's not just one topic, but it's like various topics. There's inclusion, we talk about UA, we talk about Web3, we talk about security, trust. There's so many things going on. So I guess my question is, as someone who I guess was new and now you are kind of like an expert for me, how do you consolidate these different aspects, and how do you blend into the ecosystem, or rather, how do you make sure that all these different aspects make sense to you at the end of the day? Because like there's just so many things going on right now, in my opinion. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you. So it's about how to consolidate all the complexities of the IG space. What has changed? Yeah.
I think to identify what is the nearest direct related discourse with your own work. And that's why I keep saying this. It is important for us, I mean, for me, who started this journey with the complex and delicate things happening everywhere, to really, to really define it on my own. So then I can really identify what will benefit me more than others. Yeah, I think that will be like a good one tip to do this, to do that.
Anyone else? Mr. Afik or Nigel?
Not sure the answer of that questions, because currently I'm still trying myself. So but I mean, like we have discussed earlier, I think the support systems of this ecosystem is so huge. You can actually reach to everybody, and every one of us can actually support you or assist you in terms of understanding. And yeah, this is where I think to have a local avenues actually can helps you in terms of you can connect better and have a better relationships together that can actually helps you understands of certain subject matters. But if there is no local avenues for you to go, you can still reach to the global ecosystems that we have, as I believe that they are all very welcoming and also very assisting. Thank you.
Well, now I think we have 2 hands raised on the Zoom. Melody, would you be reading the question or?
No, so we have two hands. One
Yeah.
is from Michael, the other one is from Baka. So perhaps we can have Michael to unmute first.
Thanks, Melody, and thanks to the panel. I'm Michael from Australia, and I also work at Outer, the .ai domain administrator. And I've also participated in a PIGA in Korea, which has been a bit of a theme for today, and I found it a really great experience to start off the journey, even having worked from a tech company like Outer already in the IG space. And I'm just really interested in the panel's views. One of the things that we've been doing now, we've set up a local chapter of APIGA and ran a great program last year, thanks to the support from Yinchin and the team there. But how you all found your experience both in programs that you might be running, but also programs that you've been part of before in staying connected. Because I think one of the real challenges is keeping everyone engaged, whether you start in a capacity building program, but then keep them on the journey for the next steps. And a lot of feedback we've found is that next step is particularly hard, even when you start off from those foundations. So I'm just wondering whether you've had any good or bad experiences in programs you've been part of, or what you've found has actually worked well, whether it's a LinkedIn group or a WhatsApp chat, but just managing to stay connected when you can't physically get in the room.
Thank you, Michael. I think this is connected to our second question that we asked before, which is about how to stay involved in the IG space after your first fellowship or staying engaged, especially when you can't be, physically present in the room. Any takers for the question?
Yep, if I can respond to that. First of all, to stay engaged, and this is from my perspective as the participants of capacity buildings on internet governance, as well as from the perspective of the organizers for capacity buildings for internet governance. Yeah, for me to stay engaged, as I said, it's not a challenge for me because I am directly related. My job scope and my works is directly related to these areas. But when I am the organizers of the capacity buildings for internet governance, I do have I do see some challenges in terms of keeping the young professional talents to engage, to continue their engagement in this area. Most of them is because of basically when we say about next generation leaders, basically they are in the forms of transitional period from university years to their career, or maybe they are at their early career years. So the priorities will be on careers rather than on to participate voluntarily in this internet governance ecosystem. So sometimes they also do not work in the organizations that really fully supporting these kind of activities or initiatives. So that is somehow kind of a challenge for them to stay engaged and stay involved in these areas. So one of the things that we can actually do is basically to have fellowships that integrated with career development. In this context, maybe we could develop opportunities that combine IG exposures with employability internships, job placements, or joint research projects with a governance lens. In this case, for the interns, currently in my departments, for the interns that are currently doing internship with my departments, basically we are also encouraging them to engage in internet governance ecosystems, and in fact, one of them has actually participated in the in the previous MyAPIGA. So that is somehow the efforts that we could do, small efforts that we could do to foster the engagement and keep them to stay engaged and stay in these ecosystems.
Thank you, Afik, for sharing. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we'll have to bench the other questions. And that concludes our session for today. Thank you so much for our panelists for sharing so honestly and so openly today, and to everyone here for participating and attending the session, even after lunch. I know a lot of you are sleepy and it's already the last day of the conference, so we really appreciate you for being here. We hope this session give you a better sense of how youth can and are shaping the internet governance space. Whether you're just getting started or supporting others who are, we all have a role in building the next generation of IG leaders. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the forum.